It's pretty simple. In order to win games in Madden 26, you're going to have to score more points than your opponent. And calling good plays, being a good playbook is going to make this so much easier. Luckily for you, in this video, I'm breaking down the only 5 offenses that you should be using here in Madden 26 to help you score more points and win more games. Whether you're a pass-heavy player, run-heavy player, or something in between. You're not going to miss this one, so let's jump right into it. All right, the first playbook I want to show you is the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is literally the best passing playbook you could ever dream of here in Madden 26. Let me show you why. All right, so we're going to come here into motion halfback choice. All right, this is going to be our first play from Gun Bunch X Nasty. Because all you're going to do is put your tight end on a corner route, you're going to put B on a shriek, and you can block your running back. Now, this is really great against cover 2 and cover 3 defenses, although it can also beat man coverage. All right, so we're going to put them in cover 3 now. Here's the thing. Some people are going to show you this version of cover 3, or they might show you a version like this where the safety isn't directly in the middle of the field because they want to more show like hide their coverage. But for the sake of this, we'll just leave it how it was with the safety in the middle of the field. All right, so if they're not going to use coverage shells, this is really great. So you're just going to take the snap, step up in the pocket, and you're just going to see how Travis Hunter is going to be wide open down the field. All right, so this time obviously they're going to be in cover 2. You're just going to need time to throw. That's why if you want to put your running back on an in route as well, you could certainly do that. But right here, they're just going to be in cover 2, and when they're in cover 2, man, I mean, you can see how wide open. Trevor, someone told me to make sure I have like the perfect pass accuracy turned on the next time I do one of these videos. So maybe I should listen because I'm tired of Trevor Lawrence just sailing passes. But anyway, we're going to put the corner out on the field, both these guys, and you're just going to watch how this time, boom, you're just going to pass that ball down the field, and you're just going to see how when he starts running further and further down the field, that's when he starts to bend the route off away from that inside third. All right, so we're going to watch this play again. He's going to run up the field. He's kind of running at an angle, and then as he continues running, he's going to bend the route off, and that's when you freeform passing the ball to the left here in this case, away from this guy, because you have to think about it. He's being held a little bit outside by this fade, right? And so also, you could throw this fade a lot of the time too, right? That's another opening because if that, especially against cover 3, if that corner route is able to pull down the outside third, number 4 here, if he pulls him down, that's when you can really look to your fade. Now, this version of cover 3, right, where the safety's not standing directly in the middle of the field, it's not going to be as good against that. Right, so you're just gonna see that's when you just let it go down the field to that fade. So it's all about making the read, and then you're able to see we have the touchdown wide open. So this is a really unique play because you have a super unique route. Whether they want to run cover 2, cover 3, you're just gonna see how boom right here we're able to run this, bend this route off, and he just outruns him. Regardless of really ratings, who's at this spot, this is just how this route runs, and that's why it's super valuable against cover 3 because you can also see your corner out here to Brian Thomas Jr. is able to move this outside third down and outside, again creating the window here for this fade route to run. So a really great one-play touchdown there from Bunch X Nasty against cover 3, cover 4, cover man coverage, cover 2, a lot of different defenses. But the Jaguars aren't done there by any stretch. I have a couple of plays here left to show you guys from this playbook. So we're going to come into PA snag from doubles, flex, wide off close. I mean, this is essentially an offensive ebook. 5 offensive ebooks put into one video. It's honestly a bit crazy because you only have to call a few plays to be able to be successful in offense. You don't have to go through the whole playbook. You're just calling good plays and you're able to hopefully block up Chase Young. But you're just calling like the same plays from a whole bunch of different formations, and it's going to make the game super easy for you. So again, boom, right here, that time they have no flat on that side. So we're just going to try to run him over, and that's exactly what we do, and then we get ran over. But again, this is a route concept that's able to stress every area of the defense and make it super, super easy, to attack. So boom, right here, we're just going to look over the middle of the field right there to Brian Thomas Jr. So again, you have so many different openings, so many different windows. They're in random defense right here. And this is kind of like an everything beater, as I talk about in many of my videos, because essentially what you're trying to do is just call the play and read the defense after the snap. right here. I mean, I kind of just missed that read. You probably should just hit your flat. So never get too pass happy or trying to push the ball down the field too often. Just literally call it like this, cancel your play action immediately, make the read. They're in man coverage, and so we just throw it to our 97 speed guy, and then we're just, this dude is honestly insane the way he's able to speed boost. He's super fast, super agile, and it just makes speed boosting away from defenders like that, and they're able to score easy touchdowns. So we go one last time with this play. Don't forget about that backside dig route, right? You're able to see that's, I mean, that was tight coverage right there. A lot of the time though, he's going to be able to create really good separation and make that, you know, a go-to play. So again, the route concept is very simple. One hot route, and then you're just snapping the ball. A great quick snap play and a great play to get the ball to a whole bunch of different areas in the field. But we talk about everything beaters so much, and probably the most frustrating, I hate defending this play, all right? We're coming to whip from gun bunch tight end, all right? And we're just going to take this snap and make the read. Now, again, hopefully, you know, this is crazy because I was talking about this play a couple of days ago, and I just couldn't block, right? We're gonna hopefully be able to block up right here. We do, and look at this, to your tight end. That's really your go-to. Oh my goodness. That's your go-to, because a lot of time, especially if they run man coverage, there's going to be no help for that man. Now, this Strange dude, he's not the greatest, but he'll get the job done, all right? Right here, I mean, this is pretty good defense by them, but we just hopefully can get a route bounce, and yeah, we're just able to throw that. So always stay patient on offense. Man coverage is so fluky, and that's what makes it so annoying, is because, like, this is the perfect play against man coverage. You have two freaking whip routes. Okay, right there, you're able to turn that into a big gain. And like, it's like you have two whip routes, so like you're supposed to just be able to fry this defense, but that's the nature of man. That's why people love running it, because if they just randomly bag you on 4 straight plays, then you feel like you're screwed. Right there, we have our route open, and we're just able to turn that into a big gain. So this is another everything beater. They're running so much man coverage. I mean, my goodness. Let's get some zone coverage out here so I can show you this play. Zone players, this is going to be their worst nightmare, man. I'm just going to be honest, because it's so tough to defend this play, and they're actually just playing psychic. I've never seen this play get guarded like this, you know, even from zone coverage. All right, boom, because really you're just trying to look for your two whip routes underneath. You're trying to see which one of those two guys get open. We once again just let a guy walk in the backfield free. And so this is just, I mean, there's no edits really. I mean, we're not editing this. I don't have all day. That time, I mean, we have it open again. If I can ever get time to throw the ball, maybe I am blocking my running back. So, I mean, I'm kind of confused why we're just constantly just getting shedded. Right here, they're just going to run cover 2. And then cover 2 might be the worst defense they could possibly call, because their hook zones are just going to drop way too far back. And then also you can just throw your corner out over the top of their cloud flat. So this time they're just going to be in cover 3. And when they're in cover 3, you're looking right up the seam. Right? Oh, let me speed boost, man. You're just looking right at the seam. It's pretty simple stuff. We're just going to go through it one last time here. Looks like another cover 3 defense. That's why you always have a streak on the field. And shout out to Trevor Lawrence. We cannot end on that. Just shout out for Trevor Lawrence throwing to a wide open receiver, right? Boom. Oh, this might be man, but hey. Boom. Oh no, we're good. Just hit our little return in the middle of the field, speed boost away from that guy, and then we're able to turn into a big game. So that's 3 great plays from the Jaguars playbook. Whips, motion halfback choice, and then PA snag, right? From doubles, flex, wide off close. 3 everything beaters that's going to make defense really impossible. And that's the great thing about this passing offense, is you're calling everything beaters. You don't have to read the defense. Just hike the ball and throw to the guy that's most open. All right, next I want to show you a playbook that's really great for those type of players that want to run the ball. Run, run, run. Let me show you the Saints offense. All right, so the first play I want to show you here is from Gun Heavy Saint. We're going to come into quarterback blast. This is a very toxic formation, and it's honestly a kind of a meta formation here, because essentially this run is pretty tough to stop. The reason why is you have 4 tight ends on the field, and you're able to put your halfback or your gadget player and give him a direct snap. So there's no handoff. You're pretty easily able to speed boost with this run too, because it's just a direct snap. You just press left trigger as you're holding turbo and running, and then you're able to a lot of the time get some pretty decent speed boost. Again, just make sure you have a running back that's kind of agile and capable of hitting that move. Alvin Kamara, he does an all right job, you know, for us right here. But really, it doesn't really even matter really who's at this spot, because a lot of the time your offensive line is going to be able to double team those initial, guys at the first level, and they're going to help you get to the second level of the defense, right? Kind of like that, where Alvin Kamara is not really hitting the boost like I need him to. Maybe if I had James Cook, I could do this a little bit better here. But again, blocks normally set up pretty well. If you want to bounce it to the edge, you can. Right here, this just looks like an obvious, he's breaking tackles though. But this is just really easy especially because I know a lot of you guys play like franchise or whatever. And so you're able to get these super, like Jahmyr Gibbs, super good running backs. And like you master the speed boost. That's just terrible run stick by me. But you master the speed boost. This is an entire offense in itself. If you really think about it, you really just have to pick up 4 yards a pop with this run. You see right there. There we go, Alvin. Speed boost, man. Oh, he's gonna get caught. Okay. I thought he was gonna get caught there. But it's like it's pretty easy to pick up 4 yards a pop with a run like this. Because if you just run forward, it's like, this is just really hard to stop. It's hard for their user to stop. It's just a really easy play to run. And running the ball, you don't have to turn your brain on. You don't have to worry about making reads or anything like that. And you're just able to kind of just run forward. You're never going to lose yards with this run, which certainly is going to help your average. But again, just 4 yards a pop, and you can just call this over and over again, and it's going to be pretty tough for them to stop. But we come to our next run right here, and I believe, it's going to be duo from bunch. What formation is it? It's this one. All right. Bunch tight end weak. All right, we are going to just have them in random defense as always. This is another great run to speed boost out of, because boom, you just take the handoff. Clearly Alvin Kamara fights. I'll say that he's not the greatest booster, but he can certainly break tackles. All right, but this is just one of the best stock runs in the game. Because on that, there's a couple of boosts. This is one of the best stock runs in the game just because the handoff is really fast and the blocks normally set up pretty well. That time, if they just walk in your backfield, it's pretty unfortunate. IDing the mic doesn't really work too well. But if you want to like untarget like a guy so that no one blocks him, that could help you out too. Because that'll basically retarget your line and force guys to slide over. So again, right here, that was a really good boost, but I just didn't have anywhere to run. Maybe I should just stick to heavy Saint. Nah, but seriously, this is a good run. There we go. Able to kind of get some yards there. This is a good run to mix in when you're actually going to be passing the ball, because this is a really good passing formation as well. They're in just, I don't know, they're just having the greatest run. We should just be able to run right over this. There we go. All right, pick up a first down, right? So it's like all these runs, you want to make sure you have the look. The look is the most important part of all these runs, and make sure you're using the flame icon on the right guy. You would never want to put the flame icon over the top of this guy so the linebacker can just walk in free. If you're going to use it, put it on like a guy on the edge, right? I take the flame icon off of him and he still comes in free. And this is why you guys watch me play, right? I don't really run the ball that much, right? Just because there's a lot of, this is a perfect run. This is a great run play, right? And we're just letting guys come into the backfield randomly. Running the ball is so fluky and variable. We're going to go with it one last time here. This should be a good run for us. Oh my gosh, BLT, show off the stick. That's a great example of the power of the speed boost. I did it twice on that play, and that's going to be a great way to end this particular formation off, because we look at the replay, this guy comes in free. He's just going to walk up to me and make this tackle, but last second I boost away from him, mess up his pursuit angle, get to the second level, and then I do it again with, this safety, right, to be able to pick up some extra yards here too. And so now we're able to turn that into like a 25-yard gain using the speed boost twice. So again, the speed boost, when you're running the ball, it becomes even more important. Tapping that left trigger, aiming that left stick in the direction, that you want to run. You're kind of gonna get this speed boost depending on, who you have at that running back spot. Alvin Kamara doing a good enough job here of getting that boost. You saw Brian Thomas Jr. It's not just running backs that can get that. All positions can. But the last run I'm going to show you here from this Saints playbook is an off-tackle run. And I'm going to tell you, this run is really good when they run man coverage. And like any type of man cover zero, right? Because essentially, if your left tackle 71 can seal the edge, right, then you're pretty much going to have room to run. Now, the safeties can always come up, make plays, right? But you're just going to see how if he can steal that edge, and I tried cutting it up right there, you're going to have room to run. This is a run that a lot of people don't play against. It's hard for their user to come up and shoot. And so, you know, like I said, safety can sometimes come and make a play. This is a run where you can lose yards, right? Like if I was playing against, like I said, it's always about looks when you're running the ball. I would run inside zone on this. I wouldn't really even bother running off tackle. We'll see if we can. I mean, you see how we have to kind of cut back. We pick up 2 yards. That's fine. Like if that safety comes down, you're not going to be able to pick up that many yards. Right here, this is a perfect look because there's no safety on that side. So really, if there's no safety on that side, that left side here in this case, that's when you kind of go to this, right? Right here, they do have that safety, but he's honestly even late to recognizing it. And so we're still able to kind of get out to the edge, pick up 2 or 3 yards on that play. So we're going to actually put them in mid blitz right here because that's actually when this is really good. So we have them in double mug right here. All right, now we take the snap and you see how that safety, I mean, he comes down, makes a play. But again, if you can just get out to the edge, and here's the thing about this, a lot of people are going to run mid blitz like this anyway, where they're going to move their safety right over the center. We've seen this, we know this. Now this is like an amazing run look. Amazing, because you just have to turn on the Jets and be faster than their linebackers, because you've seen it like every time my left tackle has been able to seal the edge against one of the premier pass rushers in the game in Josh Allen, right? So like this really isn't a problem getting out to the edge. The real problem is just making that defender miss or being faster than him, whoever they have with those safeties at those linebackers, because I mean, you just see it. I mean, when we're able to get out to the edge, you have a chance to pop a huge, or that time, I think Allen actually has no outsiders. So he's really never supposed to give up a run like this. So again, when you don't steal the edge, that's why I say this is kind of more of a hit or miss type of play, but you're able to see how, boom, we try to cut back, turn on the Jets. So I like this run against mid blitz because, again, if you can seal the edge, it's kind of just nobody's on that side besides maybe Olave, which you can really move Olave a little bit. You can move him a little bit more outside, and so if you can just really just get out to the edge, there we go. This is the run we got to end on. Try to speed boost away from him and pick up maybe 20 yards on that play. So a really great run. You have more of a chance to kind of go backwards sometimes if you can't steal the edge. When you actually do, that is a great run to add to the other 2 runs I showed you here from the Saints playbook. So if you want to run the ball, the Saints have some of the best runs to do it from in the game. All right, if you enjoyed those first 2 offenses or you're going to take them in your next game, I encourage you to go to the link in the pinned comment and grab my Jaguars offensive book, where I go through all the plays, all the write-ups, all the videos, giving you everything that you possibly need to dominate an offense here in Madden 26. You can use code YouTube to get 20% off your first purchase. I can't wait to help you out on offense. Let's jump right back into it. All right, now I want to show you a balanced offense. I showed you a passing offense, a great running offense. You got to be able to combine them both, and the Steelers playbook is the perfect one to do it from. Let me show you why. All right, so obviously we're here in the Steelers playbook. If you watched the MCS, you saw Drini using this play a lot. We're in tight curl from tight doubles. All right, the way that I like to kind of set this up is, honestly, you could just put your tight end on a curl route, and then you would have your flood concept on the left side here. Make sure that you call this play to the short side if you're going to be using it, because you want your corner out to get open. Right here, they're going to run man, and honestly, if Aaron Rodgers would throw any pass that wasn't read, that corner out does a great job against every defense. Now, this is a great everything beater as well. You could put your tight end on a return route as well. That would be something else that would be pretty good. But you're just able to see how, boom, they're in cover 3. And so then you're kind of able to just throw that corner out on the sideline, especially because their zone drops, or their zones, underneath zones, aren't going to be able to drop back that far. So put the tight end on a return, take the snap. Right here, they're in man, and yeah, I mean, that was tight man coverage. So never force anything, right? You want to also be looking for your drag. That's a good man beater. Return route is a good man beater. Right here, they're just going to give up that return route in the middle of the field very easily if our tight end didn't have soft hands, butter fingers. But that return route's dangerous, I'm telling you, right? So right here, more man coverage. And that's why I say, like, There we go. Speed boost. Come on, BLT. That drag in the middle of the field is dangerous, all right? Because it's tough to defend in zone. It's tough to defend, especially in man, just because they have poor leverage a lot of the time. But right here, they're in cover 3. And so we're just going to have our corner out wide open. So this is a play that's going to force them to switch stick. And that's really when you can kind of get, or you can kind of take advantage of their over aggression, right? Because if they have a poor switch stick, right, then you're just going to be looking for your shriek, right? If they like take their zone like out of position, right, so there's no deep half on the field, or they switch stick incorrectly, then you just let that one go over the top, right? Or I would probably lob that pass, right, for an easy touchdown. But like what I'm saying is, if they have a bad switch stick, that's really when you can take advantage of the shriek, because they're being too aggressive trying to stop the corner route, right? Obviously, you need time to throw. I mean, shout out to my offensive lineman for ending up on his butt to a dude who weighs 160 pounds. But boom, we're going to take the snap, and we're just going to move around in the pocket. This time, we have plenty of room, and we're just able to step up and slide. So never force anything with this play. This is a great everything beater here from the Steelers playbook, trying to walk you guys through the reads, the 1, 2, 3 read progression. Look for your drag, look for your corner out, then look for your return. Right here, we're just going to look to our drag in the middle of the field right there, trying to hit a speed boost and get out of there. So a very easy play, honestly, because you have 5 pretty good options that you're able to hit against a variety of different defenses, again, from tight doubles. All right, boys, this one is honestly a bit crazy. We're going to come into trips, tight end flex. We're going to come into RPO, zone alert, Omaha, all right? This is one of the few RPOs that you can actually hot route on. You can hot route your receiver to whatever route you want. So you can do it for DK, you can do it for the tight end. Why is this valuable? Because if we just call this play, don't get me wrong, RPO bubbles are great, right? They're valuable and they do work. You're able to see right here, we're gonna be able to, pick up a first down on an RPO bubble. But what if he broke out to the flat earlier, right? You just know that when he runs a bubble, he's running backwards a little bit. But when he runs a flat route, for example, he breaks out to the flat immediately. This is so much more dangerous. You're able to see we're able to pick up like 5 extra yards simply because he's breaking out to the flat way sooner, and he's able to pick up a big gain, right? Again, not to say it's going to work every single time, but this is just so much more dangerous. You have better stick than I do, right? You're able to stay in bounds. This is going to be very hard for them to stop. But what also makes this valuable, this particular play, is if there's no one lined up over DK, put him on a shriek, snap the ball, and just look like that's crazy. Just a wide open touchdown. And the hardest part on defense about RPO defense is if you don't pass commit, your defense sucks against RPOs. And so you're kind of able to take advantage of that by just putting your man on a shriek. So again, we're just going to put him on a flat right here. We're able to turn that into a big gain and pick up 9 yards, all right? And so that's really all it is, right? The ability to put him on a shriek, put him on a flat. You can even put him on a drag, right? Where you just immediately throw that pass in the middle of the field. Don't do that if their user's there, or don't do that if they have like a linebacker there, right? But this would probably be another example of when I just throw the flat. So you're just kind of making the read on who you, I've never seen that before, on what route you want to put them on based on, what you think could be open. Right here, they look like they're in man. And that's the great thing too, right? Is if they run man coverage, him breaking out to the flat, he's that man, like 54 here, who's manned up onto him, he's going to get picked. So this is like a pick. He runs into these other guys, and so we're just able to still throw it out there, hopefully stay in bounds, and pick up a big gain. So bottom line with this play, it's like you have so many options, and it's going to be pretty tough for them to defend, because even that time he didn't get picked, and because he just breaks out to the flat too soon, the defender doesn't recognize it, and you're able to pick up 9 yards. So that's kind of a crazy RPO glitch, kind of a glitch play that you can call that's going to make your RPOs way better than just using the traditional bubble that everyone seems to know how to defend now. But if we come into the red zone, this is another play that's super, super dangerous. It's called Quick Fork Zig from Gun Trips X Nasty. All right, still in the Steelers playbook, obviously. The setup for this, just put your RB receiver on a flat, put A on a slant, all right? That's all you're trying to do, because this is an everything beater, right? Right here, they're actually going to be in man coverage, and so we're just going to throw our zig right there to DK Metcalf. That's the first read against man. Against zone coverages, you're really looking to just throw throw your B receiver on his stop and go route, you're able to see very, very easy. Gonna be tough for them to defend because he's essentially taking advantage of zone logic, or we're taking advantage of zone logic. Let's take a look at the instant replay here so I can show you this. This receiver runs out to the flat. This is a curl flat zone. So the curl flat runs out here to defend the flat, but then he just waits until that curl flat runs outside, and then he runs inside for an easy touchdown, right? It's literally the perfect play. It's the perfect route. Shout out to EA for putting this in the game, because this makes red zone offense super, super easy. Right here, they're going to be in man coverage, and so we're going to be looking to our sure-handed receiver on his zig. We know that zig routes are notoriously tough to defend, especially in the red zone. And so, using them, with your zig route right there is going to be very, very dangerous, right? So even against man coverage, you're also able to see sometimes your quick slant or your stop and slant kind of can still get open. That's Jamel Dean, a pretty good corner right there that we're able to kind of beat on that play. And so again, this is a great play. Zone coverage right here. I should have just hit my B receiver. When they run cover 2, that's when this can be a little bit more challenging. That's probably the best defense for this play, when they actually have a vert hook right there. But a lot of the time, if you throw it early enough, you're still going to be able to complete the pass. So boom, you just got to well, I guess, please don't. That was kind of just a bad pass lead though by me. I need Aaron Rodgers to kind of gun that pass in there a little bit. We're going to try it again against cover 2. Just because cover 2 is the hardest defense to beat with this play, but you're able to see right there, you have to possession catch the ball. You have to pass lead it away from the vert hook and then possession catch it in the end zone. So we'll take a look at the instant replay one last time here with this play. But against cover 2, you still have the same zone logic where you're going to move this flat zone outside, but then you just have to really be precise and throw it early and on time, because this window in between these two Buccaneer defenders is tight. And so you have to get that pass in there. You see how I press A to possession catch it, fall down, don't let the slot corner touch me, and then we just have an easy touchdown. So this Steelers playbook, truly a balanced offense. I think I still did talk about, or I did talk about RPO, but 2 great pass plays, because passing is really easy in this game. If you can just attack windows and actually score in the red zone, you're going to be perfectly fine. And the Steelers offense does a great job of that. And again, the best part about that Steelers offense is you go to the link down below in the pinned comment and grab it today using code YouTube to get 20% off. Much like the Jaguars playbook, you're going to get the full write-ups, full videos, full breakdowns of everything I know in the Steelers offense, and it's going to be updated within the next few days. I can't wait to help you out on offense. Don't miss out. But next, I want to show you an insanely overpowered offense, because you're just going to be able to score easy one-play touchdowns against a variety of different defenses. Let me introduce you to the Buccaneers playbook. All right, so the first play I want to show you here is going to be a double pass, a trick play. All right, we're going to come into bunch strong nasty. We're going to come into motion double pass. All right, you want to call this on the short side of the field. It is just a little bit better here, but all it is exactly what you would imagine, a double pass. And you would like to have a kind of like a guy who could actually throw. I know you're going to have a receiver out there, but it does get open. Now, it's not going to be every time, right? Sometimes they're going to, right here, they're actually going to play. How did he drop that? He's a receiver. Sometimes they're going to guard it, especially if they recognize it or if they pass commit. But this is a great trick play to kind of just catch them off guard. And then you're able to see sometimes you just have that wide open pass. Emeka Egbuka, I guess, clearly isn't a receiver. If you're playing regs, the 49ers are a great team to obviously use for this, because they have Jawan Jennings, who was a quarterback. And so that's really dangerous for you. Emeka Egbuka really just isn't hitting these passes, man, which is kind of annoying. You can also take off and run with him too. That time I probably should have just hit the X. Sometimes you can take off and run. Sometimes it's just better off to just try to throw one of your passes. You have a wide open pass down the field if you can hit it. And we get a throw out a sack right there, which is just nice. We're going to see if we can get one. Obviously, for you, this would be better, because you would actually have, especially if you're playing Mutt, you would probably have a guy who could throw the ball. If you wanted to sub your backup quarterback in, you could I think that one might be it. There we go. You could certainly sub your backup quarterback in. That would just be a little bit more obvious for them that you're calling this play. But really, it's up to you. I think it's worth a chance, right? You can really only call this one time a game. There we go. That time we're able to turn into a big game. Come on, Mike Evans, good job. You can really only call this 1 or 2 times a game before they like catch on to what you're trying to do. But here's the thing, you can play a lot of different games, and this could be a big play for you. You can see how these guys, they come down. That's a green pass, BLT. There we go. On time, on target. So I think we're going to end on that one with this, particular double pass. Just a creative little trick play there that's going to serve you pretty well as like I said, kind of like a trick play right here, all right? But now we're going to show another, one play touchdown, all right? So this is really great against cover 3 defenses. So we're just going to put them in random play right here. And you want to make sure that you're only calling this on the wide side, okay? All you want to do is you want to put your outside receiver, X, right here on a slot fade. And you could stem him up if you want, or you could smart route him and then you could stem him up twice. Then I would put RB on a shriek. Now, here's the thing. This is what makes this so valuable is against particular cover 3s, right? When they call cover 3, because as I told you before, not everyone runs cover 3 like this. They don't want to show you an obvious cover 3 look. So when they run cover 3 like this, where the safety is rotating from across the field, that's really when this is the most dangerous, because essentially, so again, right here, we're just going to take the snap and you're going to see the safeties rotating from across the field, and that's what's going to be the most dangerous, because then you can just pass lead that ball like this. Shout out to Mike Evans for dropping a wide open pass right there. But again, the safety is rotating from across the field, and that's really your best friend here. That's what's going to make this so dangerous, because if you think about it, this slot fade is going to move this man outside, and then it just creates that window. Now, I think I told you guys to be on the wide side with this. If you're on the short side, it's probably even better, because that makes it even harder for the safety to come over. But you really just need to go the free form. I mean, you see we get our hands on this ball. Surprised we dropped it with Mike Evans. But I'm going to switch the ball to the short side. So now we're going to see it. We're going to go ahead and take the snap. And then you're just going to see Mike Evans wide open right there. Easy touchdown over the top. You have a fast receiver too. That's going to make it even better. But it really just comes down to that slot fade, moving that man outside, and then you're just going to be able to throw the ball pass lead away, all right? Emeka Egbuka slot fade, move 42 towards the sideline, and then Mike Evans just running right down center field, pass lead to the left and over the top of that defender, and you're able to see easy touchdown. So again, another easy bomb over the top for you to take advantage of. Editor, play the clip that I sent you of me doing this in a game so you guys know that it's real. All right, and so then obviously, in a game, again, I had Raheem Shaheed there, so it kind of helps when you have faster receivers too. But it's a great concept to be able to attack cover 3, especially when they're rotating their safety from one side of the field and trying to get to the other. All right, last but certainly not least, I want to show you a cheese offense. If you're a cheeser, you just want to be cheesy and you don't really want to think too much on offense, this is the playbook for you. Let me show you the Giants playbook. All right, so what makes this offense so toxic is this play, motion RPO read flat. You're going to see how, when you have Malik Neighbors, like this is going to be even easier. But really, now I can just speed boost all. Oh my gosh, I ran to the wrong guy, right? So this ball gets snapped behind the line of scrimmage. That's the best part. Whenever you see RPOs and man coverage, this is a man coverage player's worst nightmare. You want to know why? Because again, the ball's going to get snapped behind the line of scrimmage, which never happens on motion plays. You always have to wait for the guy to get set. But with this, for some reason, you can just snap the ball behind the line of scrimmage and then speed boost away, especially when you have super elusive guys like Neighbors. So again, boom, take the snap, ball gets snapped behind the line of scrimmage. You're able to just cut up, win some tackle battles, hopefully. So it's going to be very tough. Man coverage, like I said, is the worst possible defense that you can run versus this. Zone coverage, a little bit better, but it's still just the ball gets snapped so fast and you're able to, cut up, turn into big games, hit spins. And again, I would always recommend you're getting your best player the ball, with this play. But again, boom, blocks, oh my gosh, block set up well. I'm able to speed boost away from all these guys, and we're able to just score an easy touchdown. So this is a defensive player's worst nightmare, especially man coverage. Listen, they run man, you call this play, and they're going to have absolutely no chance. And then you're able to set up blocks very well. We'll go through it one last time here, and we're going to actually put them in man coverage. because again, there's no man switching built into this. So this guy's basically screwed, and we're not, I mean, he just misses his block, so we're certainly not getting on that. But again, like I said, there's no man switching with this play, so it's not like one of these guys on the right can go over and guard this. Like, number 2 is going to have to come all the way across the field and actually try to stop it itself, which is 100% of the reason why it's so tough to defend from man coverage. So that's your first cheese play here from this Giants playbook. Motion RPO read flat from tight open. But I'm actually not done with tight open, because they have literally the best quick snap play in this game. We're going to have them in a random defense. You don't have to make any hot routes, and this is honestly a good play, because you're going to see how, oh, well, you do need pass protection. So always be aware that that time they send a safety blitz, whose safety blitzes in this game, right? And so, I mean, credit to him. But this is a fantastic play, too, because you have a check and release. Shout out to Jackson Dart for hitting that throw, right? That's also a great route, because depending on the coverage that they run, he has the opportunity to bend it off inside. If he's manned up, he's going to run a post. If he's not, he'll just run a shriek. Right? And so you also have a check and release on Scatterboo, which can be very valuable. But right here, they're in cover 3. And that's another reason why this is so valuable, because you're going to be able to just throw right underneath of their zones against cover 3, especially on the short side. All right. So we're going to call it one more, or again right here. This time, I'm probably looking up to see, and this looks like an obvious cover 3 defense. Oh, well, and I thought, Jackson, that might have been the worst pass lead I have ever seen in my life. I passed out that ball all the way to the left, and Jackson Dart just didn't even honor that at all. But against cover 3, you're really just trying to look right up the seam. So right here, I mean, I'm just going to have to take off with Dart myself, you know, try to find something. It's a pretty good play. Honestly, that was pretty good defense. So that linebacker did a good job of just dropping in the middle. But I can step up in the pocket, hit that route right up the seam against cover 3, right? So this is a cover 3 and cover 2 defender's worst nightmare. But also, if we put them in man coverage and not a freaking man blitz from spinner, my goodness. If we call this defense right here, you're going to see how Cam Scatterboo on his in route is going to do such a great job against man coverage, right? Those man defenders are going to have a tough time of guarding this in route. Like, this is one of the best in routes in the game, way better than a stock in. This just looks like cover 2, right? And so obviously when they, oh no, they're in match. And when they run match, it's like, well, Cam Scatterboo cannot speed boost at all. When they run match, just look for your running back. A lot of the time, their matching defenders are going to do a good job, especially like if they're in cover 6 or anything. But right here, there's no flat on that side, and so we're just going to be able to turn it into a big game, glide across the field with the speed boost, and get out of there for an easy touchdown. So again, another toxic cheese play, because it's the best quick snap play in the game. I hate playing defense. I know my opponent is just going to quick snap every single play. It makes it super annoying, and this particular play does a great job of taking advantage of that. All right, if you enjoyed that breakdown of the top 5 offenses here in Madden 26, again, I encourage you to go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down offensive tips and tricks like this every single day here in Madden 26, and you're not going to miss out on any of them. But again, go to the link down below in the pinned comment and grab my Jaguars or my Steelers offensive ebook to transform your offense. And again, you can use code WELCOME to get 20% off. I encourage you to check it out. It has the full write-ups, full breakdowns, full videos of everything that I'm doing to dominate an offense here in Madden 26. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.